What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Testing, testing. Is everything looking good? Everything looks like it's going good. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about something very, very interesting. Today, I want to talk about Ethereum and what Ethereum is doing because Ethereum could be starting to rise up in the near future. I want to talk about that. So, without further ado, let's just go straight into the charts because look at this. As you guys can see, Ethereum is in a bull flag. It is in a falling channel. It is in a bull flag. It is looking very, very bullish, but in the short term, we have been falling down. This is something that I've been talking about for a while. I've been talking about the possibility of Ethereum starting to rise up. What is interesting with Ethereum, though, is that it is different than Bitcoin. I've been talking about Bitcoin for a while now, have not touched Ethereum in a little bit, but I am back because I have a little bit of news. Because Ethereum has been making a bullish divergence on the daily time frame. That is very, very bullish. The price has been decreasing and the RSI has been increasing. This is a classic bullish divergence that could take the Ethereum price to higher targets because when you see this kind of divergence in the RSI with the RSI usually takes Ethereum or any basically price or any coin, crypto, altcoin stock and drives it up because of the momentum of the RSI. Because of that, what I could say is that we could be starting to see a rise up. But I did mention that Bitcoin is in fact correlating with Ethereum. So technically, if we want to see what Ethereum is up to, we could check Bitcoin. Let me look at this chart right over here and show you guys that in the past, Ethereum has been correlated with Bitcoin for very, very closely. You can see the bottom chart is Bitcoin, the top chart is Ethereum. And if we look at this chart, what we can notice is that Ethereum has been almost exactly following what Bitcoin has been doing in its rise. It rises when Bitcoin rises, falls when Bitcoin falls. But recently, ever since Bitcoin started going sideways, Ethereum, instead of following in this consolidation, started to see a downtrend down. And that's why not we can see a bull flag in Ethereum that is not visible in Bitcoin. That is because the Ethereum started a short downtrend to the downside and has made a lower low and a lower high and has made a short-term trend down, which has caused Ethereum to enter a bull flag. Now, this is of course bullish, but I've been talking about the possibility of Bitcoin being bullish also because Bitcoin, as you guys know, I've been talking about this for a while, is inside of this consolidation area also. It's inside of this very big level ranging from 24,700 up to around 31,500 or 31,000. And we have been inside of this level for almost the same exact time as Ethereum was inside of this bull flag because, of course, we're still correlating. Ethereum is still correlating with Bitcoin, it's just doing it a little bit differently. Now, the question is, why is Ethereum starting to basically decouple from Bitcoin? Well, there are many people who give many ideas. For example, here's one article. One person says, what we are seeing could be the beginning of a long-term regime change. As Ethereum has shifted from proof of work to proof of stake, the economics of supply and demand underlying the two tokens will continue to diverge. What this person is saying, which is Pulkit Goyal, Vice President of Trading at Orbic Markets, what that person is saying is that Ethereum, once it changed from proof of work to proof of stake, which Ethereum did, recently Ethereum changed its whole entire consensus algorithm, changing its whole entire program, stopping what they used to have and starting a new consensus entirely. Now, this is not new news, this happened in a while, but this could be the reason that Ethereum started to fall down. That's primarily the reason that Ethereum started to decouple. But of course, it is still very much correlated with Bitcoin because if you notice on the chart, we still see rise and falls just like Bitcoin did, but we for some reason lack a little bit of bullish momentum. And because of that, we are in a bull flag. Another theory is that Bitcoin will cement its status as the digital gold or a blue chip stock, while Ethereum will be seen as a growth stock or an emerging market. So Bitcoin will start being seen as a more safe asset. It will be seeing less volatility, but Ethereum will be the main pressure point. It will be the face. It will be the newest thing because, of course, Bitcoin, even though a lot of things are coming out with its Bitcoin NFTs or a ton of code is changing with Bitcoin, people still understand Bitcoin as a more safe alternative to Ethereum because it is much less volatile. The reason it's much less volatile is because it has a much bigger market cap. There's more Bitcoin, there's more money invested into the Bitcoin compared to Ethereum. And the fact that Ethereum does have some significant improvements, for example, having faster transaction speed, having more a very different algorithm now, could show some very big discorrelation. We could see some very big changes very, very soon to Ethereum versus Bitcoin. But because Bitcoin, Ethereum are still two very big assets that basically almost function the same. They're known as the one of the two best cryptocurrencies. Because of that, they're the two well-known cryptocurrencies, and because of that, they are still correlated together. And because of that, we can look at Bitcoin and almost understand what's going to happen with Ethereum in the long term. For example, the Bitcoin halving. We know about the Bitcoin halving. I'm not going to go into detail because I talked about the Bitcoin halving for a while. Go watch my previous live stream where I talked about the Bitcoin halving. But because of the Bitcoin halving, I was talking about how in the next coming year we could do something insane. Doesn't matter if it's down, doesn't matter if it's up, something big will happen and it will take a lot of people out. We already saw $80 million worth of shorts get liquidated just because of this little pump, but that's not even close. In this upcoming year, people will get confused, think that the bull market's going to happen, and start buying, but instead Bitcoin's going to start falling, or vice versa. What I'm saying is that this next year, because of the Bitcoin halving, every 4 years proves that people think that the bull market's going to start, and it does not. And instead, people get wrecked. And so the best thing to do is hold at this time. Why am I saying this? Well, what happens after this year? What happens when the Bitcoin halving happens? Well, that's when the bull market starts to happen, both for Bitcoin, both for crypto. But what's interesting is if we go back in time to Ethereum and Bitcoin, look who started moving first. Well, technically, they started moving at the same time. But looking at right over here when this very big massive boom happened, what's interesting is that Ethereum started to rise first. It started seeing these little gains while Bitcoin stayed sideways. That's because Ethereum is of course more volatile. Same thing if we look at Ethereum and same thing if we look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin on the top. What do you think fell down first? Well, surprisingly, they actually fell down almost at the same time. But what is more volatile? Well, Ethereum, just because Ethereum is a very big, very it's a much smaller cryptocurrency compared to Bitcoin. But now that we got this correlation done with Ethereum, we can know that in around the fourth quarter of 2024. That is my prediction when the bull market starts to happen because of this halving. When that hits, everything's going to rise. Bitcoin, Ethereum, doesn't matter because they are correlated together. So my analysis on Bitcoin can be converted to Ethereum, but there are some differences, which is why I want to give a little bit of time to Ethereum. For example, this bull flag that I want to talk about, just for you guys' information, just want to tell you that this target of the bull flag could take us all the way up to around $2,700. That is a very big escape for Ethereum. It's a very big target. It could take us around halfway to the all-time high, which is a very big thing for Ethereum. Another thing that I want to talk about is how this bullish divergence could take us there. This bullish divergence is a target of approximately $1,800, just because usually in a bullish divergence, we see a rise higher than the previous higher high, which means that technically, if you want to reach a target, we could reach that level. But we don't even need to do that because this resistance line right over here, the bull flag, could still get hit. And we do not need to follow this bullish divergence because one thing you know, when we are inside of a falling wedge, in falling channel, doesn't matter which indicator it is, when we hit one resistance, what do? And get rejected, we fall down to the support. Once we confirm support, we rise up to the resistance. So using that logic, we can understand that now that we hit the resistance and technically are in the middle of the channel, the next course of action is for Ethereum to fall down to the support, which is why there is a chance that Ethereum could fall down to 1,200 in the short term before rising up. And if we look at Bitcoin, what does Bitcoin say? Because we are correlated. Well, I've been talking about this for a while. I was talking about the fact that Bitcoin could be in an ABC correction wave. If that is true, then the place where we go to is 0.5. This level, we just go to this support. And after we go to this support, we fall down. It's very simple logic. We have a three-step process of falling down. First wave is a crash. Second wave is just a fake out. People believe that we're done falling, we're going to keep rising, but no, we reach this level and then we fall down. And that level is, of course, written on the Fibonacci retracement, the 0.5 to the 0.618 level, aka the golden pocket. Because of that, many people become skeptical when we reach this level, and it's important for Bitcoin to decide what will happen right now in the next coming weeks. Will we continue to rise up or will we get rejected? If we get rejected for Bitcoin and we fall below this support, for example, we could confirm resistance at the level and confirm that this is in fact an ABC correction wave. Now, some people might be asking about the wick. How come we are still an ABC correction wave? How come this ABC correction wave is not basically crossed out from the list because we broke above the box? Well, number one, this is an approximation. It's not 100% that we have to rise here. Sometimes we go lower, sometimes we go higher. And two, this is a wick. We count bodies usually. And so because of that, what we can see is that technically right over here at this level, Bitcoin never touched the 0.5 level, which explains why we rose up to here. Now, what that means is that whatever we do in the next couple weeks for any crypto, we will see a very large output. Depending on if that is to the upside or to the downside, I do not know. What I do know is that there is a very big indicator that's starting to form on the 1 hourly time frame. This might be an ascending triangle. Now, of course, usually ascending triangles are bullish, but we cannot say that because the trend is rising up. Instead, what we have to wait is we have to wait for a breakout. And what this gives us, all this indicator gives us the target and a time frame, which means that technically we have until the 19th of October, maybe a little bit more, to figure out where to go. Actually, usually we break out less. Of course, this indicator does not need to play out. We do not need to see a breakout from this indicator, which means that in the next couple of weeks, we will understand if Bitcoin will in fact rise up or fall down because of not just this indicator, but also the moving averages on the daily time frame. Because if you look on the daily time frame, we did something spectacular right now and have made a new candle. Look at this. Bitcoin has fallen down. It has first broken above all the daily moving averages, fallen down, and risen back up, which means that we might have confirmed support at this level. That could be a very bullish thing for Bitcoin, which is why it's important. It's very important for Bitcoin to start rising. What Bitcoin has to do is break at least above 29,700 to confirm that we are not following this ABC correction wave, this potential ABC correction wave. Because if we are, then the long-term target is at $21,000. I've been talking about this for a while. Go watch my previous live streams to where I've been talking about how Bitcoin could potentially fall because of all these moving averages, because of all these ABC correction waves. But what we need to do right now is use not just Bitcoin's ascending channel, but also Ethereum's bullish divergence start rising up. And we do see bullish momentum start to happen because we see these bullish patterns starting to form. This falling channel potentially, this ascending broadening wedge potentially, this ascending channel for Bitcoin. Also, the fact that if we go on the weekly time frame, the moving averages are also very close for Bitcoin. All this showing is that something big is about to happen. It could be potentially to the upside. And look at this on the weekly time frame. We might be confirming either resistance or support for Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, on the 200-week moving average. And it's imperative for Bitcoin to stay above these moving averages to maintain its bullish momentum. Because if in the next couple weeks we get rejected, we fall down, this candle closes, we make a red candle, that's a very big bearish news. Just like we did back over here, it caused us to fall down. How much percent? Well, when Bitcoin got rejected from the 200-week moving average previously, we fell down 5%, 6%. But we came back up. That could be a sign of bullish momentum, which means technically, if we are right now seeing this bullish breakout, when we do, that could be a very massive pump to the upside. And what Bitcoin needs to do is to break to at least 29,700, or at least the lowest it could go. The highest it could go is the lowest it needs to go, sorry, is 29,100. If we reach that level, close on the weekly time frame, this candle, which closes in 4 days, fall down and confirm support at this moving average, then we could see the start of the bullish trend once again, because on the weekly time frame, these moving averages are very important for a bull market. Whenever we confirm support on this weekly moving average, we usually see a rise up in the long term, which is why it's imperative for Bitcoin to confirm support at that level. And if Bitcoin does, then because Bitcoin is correlated to Ethereum, what we could see is a rise in Ethereum too. And the fact that there are very big bullish indicators in the long term for Ethereum and for Bitcoin shows that in the long term, these cryptocurrencies will rise. It's 100% that we will rise. But the question is, in the short term, will Ethereum fall down to the bottom of this bull flag before starting to rise because we already topped the resistance and because it's correlated with Bitcoin? And will Bitcoin get rejected from that big level and fall down? Because this is very big for Bitcoin. And so what I advise you guys to do is to watch Ethereum right now. See if we start rising up. If we start rising up in the next couple of days and manage to secure a spot at least 29,200, that's the breakout of this ascending channel. And if we manage to get to that level, that will be a very big spot for Bitcoin. That will be a very big decision. Once we reach that level, if we reach that level, once we break it, we are in the clear to start rising. What we need to do is to confirm support at the moving averages. If Bitcoin, if Ethereum, either of them starts rising up, they will propel the rest of the cryptocurrency world to hopefully start the bull market very, very soon. But once again, this is all cycles. What we can see, if I go on to the Bitcoin Brave New Coin Liquid Index to check on the Bitcoin halving cycle and show you guys a little bit of this cycle, what you can see is that we still have a year and a half to go. How many days exactly? We still have 179 days to go. 30 weeks till the Bitcoin halving, around half a year, which means that even less than half a year, which means that until then, we could see a rise, we could see a fall, but whatever happens, we will 100% return to where we were because the same exact thing happened last time. We rose up to 13,000 after a dump from 20 down to 3,000. People thought this was the next bullish. This was the next here. Let me remove all these drawings. People thought this was the next pump up. People thought this was the next cycle. This was the bull market starting to happen. But instead of that, we had a crash. This crash was actually pretty significant. This was a crash that caused Bitcoin to fall down 54%. And because of that, people got scared once again. A lot of people got wrecked at this level. And of course, it started rising up again. People made courage, and that's when the pandemic hit. What I want to focus on is the fact that right over here at this pandemic, Bitcoin fell down to 3,000 from 10,000 in 1 month. But what's even more insane is that Bitcoin came straight back up in a month once again, and a couple months after the halving, rose up, and it rose up straight to all-time highs, almost nonstop. And the fact that it did this the previous 2 cycles, almost the same exact way, just proves that Bitcoin is following a 4-year cycle, and every 3 years, people get confused at this level. That's why whatever happens to Bitcoin in the next 30 weeks, the most thing I could say is just hold in the long term. If you're a long-term trader and you want to be safe, is to just hold, because technically Bitcoin could, just like we had back over here, have a pandemic. Crypto could fall, just like we had it back over here in 2020. But of course, it's 100% coming straight back up. Bitcoin, it's a very crazy technological marvel. It's very new. It's still new compared to the dollar, for example. It is a very big technological advancement. It is the first electronic asset that can give real value. And because of that, it's not going away. It's a very secure asset. No trust required. It's completely new technology, which is why Bitcoins and cryptocurrency is not going away. And since Ethereum is also crazy and big, it's not going away also. And that's why, depending on what happens with the dollar, Bitcoin is going to stay, just like gold. Bitcoin and gold are a hedge against the US dollar, which means that when the dollar does badly, Bitcoin and gold do good, which means right now, if the US starts to do something badly, Bitcoin and gold will start to rise. And of course, talked about this in the previous couple live streams, which is why you guys should go back and listen to those live streams where I talk about in more depth why printing of the US dollar is bad for Bitcoin. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little update about Ethereum, about Bitcoin. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, because I do daily live streams like this on any cryptocurrencies. Speaking of which, leave a comment down below on whatever cryptocurrency you want me to talk about. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.